Okay, I've gone ahead and opened up Photoshop and loaded the image from my phone or my camera. And this time I'm going to show you the example of doing that without having to actually go to a scanner. So we just already have the image loaded and open it as a JPEG file. For us to digitize or draw over this image, it's important that we invert this image. So I'm going to come up here to Image, Adjustments, and go back to Invert. So now it's turned it into somewhat of a black and white file. Now I can do some further adjustments by coming up here and changing the brightness and contrast. Let's try black and white and see what that does. It's got a whole lot of settings over here where we can turn and play and do all that with. So I'm going to see if I can change anything here. Doesn't look like I can do so, so I'm going to cancel out of that. Go back over here to adjustments and brightness and contrast. So I'm going to turn the brightness of the image down, increase the contrast a bit, and let's see what we get. I really like that, so I'm going to go with this right here. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to export this image to a Save for Web fonts. Save for Web. So I'm going to turn the size of this image down to 400. Makes it a little more easier to work with in AutoCAD because it's not such a big file. I'll go ahead and hit Save, and I've already got one out there, so I'm just going to save over that file and hit OK. Hit Save, and I'll replace it. Okay, now we'll go to AutoCAD here. I've gone ahead and opened up my Windows Explorer, and I've opened up AutoCAD and I minimized it on my screen so I can see both here at the same time. Now I'm going to go into AutoCAD and I'm going to create a new drawing. I just hit the plus sign up here and click on that, and there I have a new drawing. So I found the image that I just edited in Photoshop for my stamp sketch. I'm just going to grab that image and place it over here in AutoCAD. Now it's kind of small, so I'm going to zoom up a little bit on this, and it says specify an insertion point. I'll specify here. I'll make it about that size, about right there, and then let me zoom out here a little bit, move this up. There we go. I'll just go ahead and, with my polar tracking, keep it at 0. Okay, there's the image. Now I'll expand the screen, and I'm going to come up here to Layer Properties and open that up. And we're going to create our own layers. For the most part, we knew that that scanned image came in on the first layer, the 0 layer, and we're going to change that. So I'll come up here to this icon that lets me create a new layer, and I'm going to call this Scanned or Photo. Let's call it Photo. Okay, and I'm going to change the color to let's go with kind of a light blue. Okay, now I'm going to create a new layer by hitting the right mouse click, or again come up here and hit this icon right here, and I'm going to call this call it Sketch. I think Draw sounds better. Drawing. Okay, do that. Change this color to something that's a contrast. I'll probably go with this orange right here. Hit OK, and I'll go ahead and collapse that layer, and I'll zoom up here, and I'm going to select this layer here. I'll do a right mouse click and drag up, and I'm going to come back over here to Home, and I'll come down here to Photo. I'll put it right there, and you can see the highlighted blue, and that's good. Now what I'll do is come up here and lock that layer, and I'm going to double click on that. Okay, close. Back to Layer Properties, and I'm set to Drawing, so that's good. Okay, and we'll start our drawing here in a second. Alright, I'm going to scroll up here on this particular part of the drawing. Now I can draw all three of these at once, but for this purpose, what we're trying to get across is how to draw a quick stamp. Now that we zoomed up on that, I'm just going to quickly come up here and hit my polyline tool up here. I can do P line as a key in. I'm going to start drawing this guy in. I'm not too worried about how accurate it looks or anything like that, because it's just going to be a quick little rubber stamp that we create. Zoom up here, come across. Now one thing that's real helpful is to go ahead and turn polar tracking off when you're actually drawing, so you can kind of get closer to the object that you're creating. Now just kind of, actually what I'm going to do now is hit Escape, and I'm going to zoom out here and I'm going to select this. I'm going to delete it. Let's go ahead and delete that and start over here real quick. So go back to P line for polyline. Draw this point here, this point here, a little over there. Kind of come down at an angle, come up here and here, and I'll hit escape. And I'm going to come back here on the end and just draw me a shape down here using another polyline. Hit escape again. And the reason I did that is I'm going to come in here and place an arc in there. So I'll make sure my snap tracking is on. Grab this, draw myself a nice little arc and snap to that other polyline. Okay, it looks good. Now let's go back polyline real quick. We're going to come over just a little bit. I'll zoom up here, zoom back out, come up to about right there and hit escape. Go to arc and draw him in there as well. Okay, now let's snap on this, and I can pull this arc down just a little bit. That's fine, I like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here, hit escape a couple times. I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to hold my shift key down, and it's actually just hold my shift key down and get both of these, and I'm going to hit the J command, which is join. And as you can tell now, these two are joined. I'm going to go ahead and select this guy again, and then select this one here. I had to turn my alarm clock off, and hit this one and J for join. Let's see if I got those. Yeah, I got those joined. Okay, select him again, and then I'll select this arc, and I'll hit J for join. Oops, I deleted it. Do a Control Z. I wasn't too smart. Try that again. J for join. Let's see if we got him joined. Yep, we got this one last polyline here to join. I select him, select that, and I'll hit J for join. And looks like they are all connected. That's good. Okay, quickly moving along, let's go ahead and get our polyline command again, and let's just start drawing this object here. Since I know I'm going to be placing an arc in here, I'm going to go ahead and start from this point right there, come up here, come across. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of somewhere in the proximity of it. Now I'll go ahead and hit escape, come back over here to polyline again, and I'm going to draw one from about right here down to there and over here and hit escape. And I'll come back again with polyline, grab this one here again because I'm going to come back in and put arcs in there. As you can see, hit escape again. Looks pretty good. Let's go back to the arc command here, place me an arc in, one there, come up here, grab the arc command again, and I'll place it right there. I'll go ahead and select that arc and play around with the center vertex of it. Just move it up a little bit. Maybe come down here and move it down a little bit if I can do that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. We'll go with that for now. Alright, and always use your middle mouse button to zoom in and out. It makes things a whole lot easier. And put me a little arc in here, out to about right there. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'll go back to polyline, click here, there, right there, that's good. Go back to arc, zoom out. As you can tell, I just went ahead and jumped from that one command, polyline, to the arc command pretty quickly. Sketch there, yeah, it looks good. Okay, as with before, we need to come in here and modify the vertices and connect everything up. Grab this. And I'll take this line, just kind of move it down a little bit. Now keep in mind, this is only going to be an inch, so it doesn't have to be too perfect. It's just going to be really small. All right, so hit escape real quick. I'll select this guy here and this guy here. Hold my shift key down, Rich. Hit the J command to join it. Let's make sure I got that object as 2. That's correct. Come over here, select this guy, and hold my shift key down, get him. Again, J to join, and so forth. I'll go around here and do all that. Now I'm probably going to have to trim this, so let's go ahead and fix that real quick. I'll go ahead and just select all this, hit my trim command there, and take this out right there. That's good. Zoom back out, escape. Again, select the one I've got started, and hit J again to join those. I'll take this, hold my shift key down first, J to join. Oops, got the wrong one. J to join. Okay, roll out, pan over, select him, and now I'm going to select this guy, shift key again, J to join, and so forth. Alright, go ahead and hit J to join. There you go. So, looks like everything's joined up together and we got most of our artwork done. Sometimes if you hold your middle mouse button, it'll turn off that, kind of move a little bit, it'll turn off your scan picture so you can kind of get a view of it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'll go with that. Okay, now that you can see that I've got all this drawing drawn, now we got to create our 1-inch square and scale this down to fit that 1-inch scale. So I'm going to come back up here to my layer properties. I'm going to select the photo, I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to scroll out a little bit, snap on that photo. There we go. I'm going to delete it. So he's gone. Photo layer is still there, but I went ahead and deleted that. And let's go ahead and see if I can get rid of that layer. Hit the delete layer, go ahead, now it's down to this, and I'll go ahead and save my file just to be on the safe side here. Let's give it a file name real quick. We're going to call this arrow, lowercase that. I'll put that in my, gotta go make sure I put it in the right place. So come over here to this, hit the pull down. This is on my C drive. I want to put it on my F drive, so come out here to that, go down here to users. Give me a second here and I'll get to where I save it. Make sure you're always saving your files in the appropriate place you can find them later. I used to share, I save mine at school on what I call my, put it on my shared drive. Always put it to where you can get to it from another computer. And go up here to evaluation, hit save again. Okay, now it's saved. Go ahead and turn this off. Okay, now I can always come back and draw the other artwork that you saw earlier. But let's get ourselves to about right here. We're going to go ahead and hit the line command. I'll actually go with the polyline. Okay, I'll start here, and I'm just going to come over 1 inch. Oh, let's go ahead and turn on the polar tracking again. There we go. So again, 1. Okay, I'll come back up. Again, 1 that way. In this case, I'll scroll over, again, 1 again. Just kind of come down a little bit, then hit the C command to close it. So there it is. This is good. So that's a 1 inch square. Obviously, my artwork is really small. Let's go ahead and move it over there. I'll select the objects, hit enter, select the base point. I'm just going to grab it, put it there. Do it again. Whoops, kind of modified something there. I don't want to do that. Hit the move command and move it down here. And we'll roll up on that a little bit so you can kind of see it. Go ahead and select it again. Hit the scale. And I'll select the base point. And as you can tell, I can roll out here a little bit. Scale it up. And you can play around with scale factoring and all that. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, put it in here. Scale it again. That's pretty good right there. Yeah, I think I'll tweak that just a little bit. Scale it one more time. go with that about right there. Okay, now I'm going to move it down into the center. And I've got my object selected. Turn my tracking off here. I already have it turned off, that's good. Turn snap tracking off, so kind of get it about right there. That's so. Okay. Yeah, Control Z. Turn this orthogonal off. That's what's kind of bothering me right there. Oops, do that again. Select it, hit move again. That's why I was only moving in one direction. I had that orthogonal turned on. Turn snap tracking off. Oh, still had it turned on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you're just trying to get it centered up inside the what's going to be your rubber for your stamp. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and save the file again. And then I'm going to save it as a DXF. Hit save as. I'll come up here, I'll come down and select. I'm going to go with a 20 R12 version of the DXF. Save that, and I'll hit save. Oops, I forgot to do one thing. What's important is I want this to be the direction my stamp goes, but if I'm making a stamp, I got to flip it. So let's go ahead and select all that again. Here, and now I'm just going to do a mirror. And I'll select a point to mirror off of. Oh, go ahead and turn snap tracking on. Here, make sure it's there. And I do I want to erase my source object? Yeah, I do. So go back to move again. Select all these objects, got them selected. Select the base point. Just move it back to about right there. Perfect. Okay, that looks good. Now, again, save it again, and it saved it as a DXF, but I'm also going to come up here and say save as and grab this to 2008, save it on my 18 drawing as well, and save. Yes, I got to overwrite on it. Alright, that looks good, so we'll stop here for a moment.